Hello everyone. So let's solve longest common subsequence. It is a quite popular problem of DP and it has been asked in many of the coding interviews as you can see. And in this problem, all we have to do is to find the longest common subsequence possible in both of the string. So for example, if we have been given a string A, suppose as ABC and the second string as AC. So we we look if we look closely, we get to see that this AC is the longest common subsequence which is present in both of these strings. So the length of this subsequence is 2. So our output is 2, as you can see here. So the approach I'll be following is, so first of all, let us again take this example. So I'll be placing my I pointer here, which means at the end of first string, and J pointer here. And I'll be checking if the characters of at I and j get smashed. So if they get smashed, I'll simply call recursion with one incremented value, which means simply means that the minimum length of common subsequence can be one because the first character has been matched. And I'm going to call the recursion on the rest of the string, which means the string except this character C, which has been get which has got matched. Okay. And in case we don't get the last character match, so let's take that example. Let's take A, B, C, D and AC. So there can be three possibilities. Okay. First possibility is, suppose let's put the INJ pointer first. Now, as you can see, we we check that if the characters at I and J are same, but in this case they are not. So what we can do is we can call the recursion three times, which means that first for this string and not disturbing this second string at all, which means this AC and at this ABC, which means I'm simply excluding this D. Okay. And the other possibility can be, suppose if my string were ABC and ABD. So in this case, I have to consider the substring of I have to discard both of these character, right? Because I have to move my I pointer and J pointer here. So in this case, I have to call the LCS function, the recursive function, on the substring except the very last character. So this is the second possibility. The first possibility was there remain a character in my first string which which doesn't get matched with the second string, but except for this character, everything gets matched. So I simply call the recursion on the very first substring and don't change this second string at all. And in the second case, I have the example when the last character of both the string doesn't get matched. So I simply call the substring function on both of these characters. Okay, and the third possibility is quite the opposite of the first one, in which I have the ABC as first string, and the second string is AC. Okay, so let's take A, B, C, and D. Okay, so I put my J pointer here and my I pointer here. Okay, as you can see, the last character of this second string does not match with the first one. So what I can do is I can simply call the substring function of this string and don't change the very first string. Okay. In that case, I'll find my answer. So if my first character, which means this character does not get matched, so I have three possibilities. Otherwise, I can simply append one, which means add one and call the recursion to solve the rest. So let me code that solution for you. For that, I'll be using a solve function in which I'll be passing the lengths of the strings from comma s2. So install i comma j. Let's take it by reference. Now, in any case, if my I goes below 0 or j goes below 0, which means out of bound, I simply return. And if the first character gets matched, then I call the else function, which means the solve function with these substrings on both the strings. So S1, comma, S, comma, T. Okay. And in the else part, I have three choices. In A equals to, and at last I will return the maximum length of above three variables. So let's check TLE. Okay. So let's take a much simpler test case. This one. Okay, so seems it's working fine. So as you can see, it won't work for larger test cases. So for that, we'll be using the memoization code, which I have already written here. So I have written it with comments. So you can simply go through it. So first of all, what we'll be doing is creating a 2D vector. So I'll be using memoization in order to optimize my recursion, brute force recursion. And I'll be passing this 2D vector. And here I will be receiving it by reference because I don't want it to be, you know, the data to be washed away in while recursion calls. So this base case is same. And before calculating our answer, we simply check if our answer exists at that particular index, which means output of I comma j. If this is not -1, since I have initialized my output vector as -1, so if my output at that particular index is not -1, I simply return that whatever the value stored there. Otherwise, while calculating answer, I make sure to store it in my 2D vector. And same goes for here. And now let's submit the code. All right, thank you.